Veronica, you sit right in front of me in class.
This is crazy.
No, I'm not really sure I'm gonna pass.
So what's your name, sorry?
My name is Alexina Hellier.
Alexina?
Yeah.
Hellier.
Yes.
That's such a cool name.
Yeah.
That's actually a really, really cool
super
name.
old.
Damn.
Super old name.
We were just talking about like name in terms of.
Yeah, because so my name's Dusan.
Okay.
And so I'm named after the Emperor of Serbia, Dusan. I think it's the same name, just like I pronounce it all Canadian and stuff. But like, but I go to this school called Berkeley, which is like a music school, and all my friends have these crazy names like Aristotle, like August, Forrest, like these the most random names you ever heard.
Yeah.
So it's just like funny as fuck. Do you like happen to do music or anything like that? That'd be crazy.
I don't do music. No,
Damn.
I do a lot of art.
Okay.
And I was
So
a
it's true. So it
hairdresser.
holds true.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, you have to be an art student, you have to have the craziest names.
That's
Like,
true. Yeah,
like
that's
he
true.
didn't want to go to Berkeley because his name is Andrew. Like, it's not.
So we have names like John and Andrew, and we're in like the most like mundane.
Yeah, software engineering.
Computer science.
It's not mundane, bro.
I mean-
Artificial intelligence is sick, man. Don't even talk about that.
All right,
It's
so
crazy.
do you have like
But very
recommendations?
determinist.
Well, what are you guys normally into? Like, what are
I
your
mean, like,
go-to
we are
drinks?
men.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
Beer is
That
usually
clarifies
the-
everything. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say bourbon, like
oh, you're trying to get
Courvoisier.
I just
fancy.
want
I'm
like a
down.
sweet little cocktail.
Moonshine.
Moonshine. Do you guys like old fashions?
Mm.
I actually don't. I feel
No.
like because I'm not a basic kind of guy, you know.
Mm.
Do you know what's in an old fashioned?
Yeah, it's just like what
I have no
bourbon
idea.
and it's bourbon and
Thank you for calling him out on that.
bourbon
Continue.
rum. I thought it
I
was
had
just,
no
I thought it was
clue.
just like bourbon and scotch, like just two.
No,
together.
it's 2 ounce. It's a 2 ounce bullet bourbon, which is kind of like a spicier
Mm.
bourbon, which is good. Orange citrus, and then there'll be some like bitters, sugar, and a dash of water and an ice cube. So it's a very strong drink.
Mm.
It's made for men. An old fashioned is a very
like I
manly
had
drink.
it and I was just
Mm.
like I feel
see.
like I'm a basic old man, you know.
Wait,
That's
did you
true.
did you
That
say
is a basic-
bourbon in there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bullet
interesting.
bourbon.
I got one right.
Sriracha,
Yeah.
that's Sriracha.
I got 2% on the test.
Do you judge people based on their drink orders?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
What's like the
Absolutely.
most telling drink order that like says something really bad about a person?
Something bad.
Whiskey sour, tequila.
Yeah,
At the Royal Oak?
When people are just having, oh, you know what? It's anything mixed with water. Like if you're coming in with
Oh, yeah?
tequila and water, vodka and water,
What?
I'm
That's
just
so
like,
weird.
what is wrong with your brain
Just
that
drink
you
the
just want to
vodka.
like first dilute the alcohol and then just straight taste alcohol with nothing else? Like that's just weird to me. Doesn't make any sense.
Nah,
to
that's
me.
actually
Like,
I order
psychopathic
water with
yeah,
behavior.
to even take a shot or have a mixed drink. Like if you're just
Okay,
gonna
okay.
mix
That's
it with
real.
water, it's just weird.
That is weird. Do you serve them or do you just tell them straight like get out of my bar?
No, well, I mean, I'm here to make money, so I definitely serve them and
Right.
keep my mouth shut. But I judge them on the inside.
It's a
little
joke.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what's like the okay? What are like the most unique sort of manly drinks,
Hmm.
or rather spirits? I guess I like sweet though.
Yeah,
like,
we
that's the
should.
thing.
We just really need to assert our masculinity with what we
Yeah,
order.
we-
I was gonna say like we can do our summer cocktails.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
we've
let's
got
see
a
them.
blackberry bourbon sour, which is
Mm.
really good. The Phoenix Sun is very interesting. It's made with the Dunrobin Earl
Whoa.
Grey gin, so it's local.
There's a whole rainbow in there.
Gin.
Yeah,
Nice.
rhubarb,
Okay.
simple syrup, fresh lime, ginger
So
beer.
I think that Dusan
Oh,
and I
ginger
should order like
beer?
a brown drink with a
Wait.
single ice cube in like a in, like,
Ginger beer.
And
in a
like
cup
a
and then
whiskey
John-
glass.
yeah, and a
and
whiskey
John
glass, and
should
then
get one
John
of
will
these.
get
I
one
think
of
that'd
Oh
be very
my
funny.
gosh! Wait, I
Yeah.
actually
I
want to
think
get the
old-fashioned
Phoenix
would be
Sun.
great.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is a huge hit. I thought we were doing manly, and we're just
No,
doing
but,
summer
like-
cocktails.
So
Two of
basically-
us should get really manly drinks. I
And
think
then
just for the
John.
Yeah.
kind of contrast, you should get something fruity.
The
with
most
Yeah.
fruity.
We're gonna-
preferably
we're
as
gonna
many
expose
fruits
him.
on the outside as possible.
Yeah, like the
I'll
most
cover the cost of that.
flagrant,
Just-
feminine, flamboyant
Honestly,
colors.
you can make it yourself. Anything.
So what am I making here? What are you guys ordering?
Okay.
As pink as possible. As
Is
Yeah,
it
many
could you
fruits
do you
as
have like
possible.
red food
Yeah.
coloring so you can make this like super pink?
This one is super pink
Mm.
already.
Oh,
But I
That's the
love
one
the ginger
with
beer.
yeah.
Oh, you know what?
This
What
one's
if
a
I
lime
had?
too? No, this one's a lime. So you look straight out of like those like 2019 like
No, but
e-commerce ads.
What I'm saying is,
I have
a
a concussion.
lime,
If I take
orange,
vodka, I'll
pineapple,
die.
Like everything you got.
Vodka goes right into my brain.
Oh.
Every time I have vodka, I'm drunk immediately.
Oh,
All right, we have to make a decision here.
'Kay,
Let's
yes.
do
Yeah.
this.
Sorry.
Okay, wait. What if I had ginger beer with a spirit? I love ginger beer.
Hmm.
Like Moscow Mule, and then I can put grenadine. I can just put grenadine in this if you want. It'll make it pinky.
Oh, but oh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
All
So I'll
right.
put grenadine in this.
I think that's a move.
And someone else wanted the pink flamingo.
No, no,
Oh,
no,
no. We'll
So this
All
is
those?
for
Yeah.
John, and as
Yeah.
many little fruits and things as you have, maybe
Like-
even
like
a
a
little
cherry.
umbrella
Okay.
if you've
Like,
got it.
oh, an umbrella, yeah.
Yes.
Put like
And
5
then
umbrellas.
umbrella.
For the
Perfect.
two of us, we will get. I think I'll get an IPA. if you have them.
Yeah, so we've
Yeah.
got the Bubble Sash IPA. We also have the Krechmer IPA.
I'll get the Krechmer, this premium one, please.
Perfect, good job.
What
IPA.
character am I playing into right
And
now? Oh my gosh.
could we both of us get? Actually, I want an old fashioned with that as well.
Okay.
Actually, could I get? Oh, I didn't see this. Could I just get a whiskey here? This 5-tra?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, I'd love that. With just like one big ice cube. I don't know if you do that.
Yeah.
Is that that's on the rocks, right? Is that
yeah.
when they say that?
On the
Yeah.
rocks, but it'll
On the
be like a
On the
old-fashioned ice cube,
rock.
yeah.
On the rock.
On the one rock.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll have a whiskey on the rock.
On the rock. As
Which
well.
kind of whiskey? Same one?
Mm.
Petro?
Yes.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you
Alright,
so much.
thank you
so much,
Thanks for
Lexi.
coming on.
All right, boys.
Lovely.
This is crazy.
See you soon with John's drink.
What character am I playing into, man? I hope this doesn't catch on. I don't want this to be on the podcast.
See,
This
yo,
is like a
literally-
tradition
Literally,
for the
we don't
podcast.
bring Hadi for 2 podcasts, and somebody has to start to be like the awkward one.
Yeah, someone has to fold it.
To like fill that.
Okay, wait, where did I put my
have to
phone?
start talking about world domination now to fill John's like.
Yeah.
Hold on, where did I put my phone? Oh, it's right here. Yeah, I gotta post it on Instagram. Bro, this is actually insane, though.
Yo,
like,
man.
what the hell?
This
I
is
can't
blessed.
believe this just happened. What the heck?
So funny.
We got the
Yo,
bartender to hop
we
on the
out
pod.
here at the Royal Oak. Is me, John, and Andrew.
Yo, by the way, they close at 11,
What's
so we
up?
have an hour.
Welcome
and a
to
half left.
Motive. Oh shit. We gotta get to it.
Yeah.
We gotta get to it. Yo,
So-
welcome to Motive. This is Dusan, Andrew, and John.
Hi.
Today we're gonna be talking about the most rancid, terrible things known to man. Motive.
Guys,
yo.
Lori's like really hard to get into, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
come on,
guys.
guys.
No.
It's like up there.
It's like when you drop out of Harvard, except instead of Harvard, it's Waterloo. You know what I mean? But still, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, nah,
yeah.
it's a flex. It's like you had to
No.
get in the first place. You know what I mean? Like that's a flex. That's a flex. It's like
It-
you're basically Mark Zuckerberg.
Right. Yeah,
Except
yeah.
Instead of
instead
$1 million
founding
business,
Facebook,
yeah,
I
you have
found
Sammy's
Lori.
posters.
Yeah.
You found Lori. No, that's blessed.
Uh,
Damn. Yo, I have the craziest shit to tell y'all about. No, I gotta save that for later. That's like that meditation. Like, I went through some crazy shit this
Nah,
morning.
just run it real quick.
Just real quick.
Sorry, not real quick. Run it. Like, start running
I'll
it.
ru-
Start running it real
start
quick.
running
As in,
it?
like, run it now, but then you can continue for
That's
however
true.
long you
That's
want.
true. That's true.
Because we're not going to be here for too long.
That's true. Well, so, bro,
Yeah.
it was actually crazy. I mean, we're just getting straight into it, but like, man, it was like, yo, okay. So basically, case I told y'all like one time before, for any like avid Motive watchers, this was like episode, I don't know, like fucking 18 or some shit. I forget exactly when I interviewed you, or when you guys interviewed me, and fucking, bruh, and when I was in Boston, so it was like a Zoom call type thing.
Right.
Yeah, and I had like the red background.
Oh.
So
you
you know what I'm talking about?
Like in October?
Yeah, or no, later. It was like that was like December or November.
Bro, we didn't start filming till like.
Yo, yeah, that was like.
Oh, sorry.
December.
You mean the Motive cast?
Motive,
I thought you
yeah.
meant like. Okay.
No. But yeah, I get what you're saying. But no, it was Motive. But so it was pretty sick because like back then I talked about what I just like experienced, which is like basically this like I was meditating and I was meditating for so long. Like, at some point I felt like myself like become like literally the same thing as reality. Like I felt the borders between my hand and the air like ceased to exist, and I just became just my surroundings, and my surroundings were me. And it wasn't that I became it like I hadn't been it before. It's just that I like remembered or like realized that I was that it's all just one thing, that my
Yeah.
brain has made up these borders to be able to easier understand it, in a sense, like to cope almost
Yeah,
with like the
we've been
reality.
there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's not like ego death shit, but like but so I like experienced that, and then I had this crazy moment where like I like ascended like beyond myself, like above and behind myself, to a point where like I forgot that I existed. And then I was there for so long, and it was just infinite, like it was literally just infinite like light.
And
Like,
this
it was,
is what
like,
we were talking about in
infiniteness.
December.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And I'm just trying to recall that because I have something to expand off of that now. But so I was like in that kind of session of meditation. It must have been like almost 2 hours of meditating, maybe even 2 hours, but it was a long time. But I didn't even like have a concept of time anymore, a concept of anything. There was no thoughts. Like it's just like I was infiniteness, and I could feel myself constantly expanding into a space that was constantly going to be able to have me expand into. It was like, and eventually there was just constant expansion until it was just, and it was like all I knew when the way I realized that I exist is like I remembered my own self again. I looked down somehow in like my, what I was seeing, and I saw like a smile, or like the feeling of like smiling. I saw that like down and I realized that I was smiling. I was like, wait, I am smiling. And I was like, wait, that's right. I'm sitting in my room and I'm smiling. Why am I smiling? I was like, oh, because I'm meditating. Oh, because I went here. And I remember, like, I had to, like, I, like, remembered who I was and, like, that I go to school, like, in Boston and that I do music and all these things, like, all these material things I remembered about myself. But, like, I, the observer, had not changed. I just, like, returned to, like, the original state, you could say, for a moment, for a brief moment of, like, a glimpse. But anyway, so that was, like, the crazy thing. And ever since then, since last December, I've been trying to get there again. I think the fact that I've been trying makes it, like, impossible to be there, because that means you have a thought on your mind.
And you even said that then.
I did. I
Knew
I
that
know.
then.
I already knew that from the start that would make it really hard to get back because I knew that I know the strategy to get to that. Like, I could lay it out right now. I'll tell you. The strategy is like this. But thinking of the strategy is thinking of something and therefore makes it impossible. So it's really hard. I have to accidentally do it, basically. And the second I become aware of it, I fail. Because I'm doing this thing, I'm trying to do something, it's over. It's done. You can't try to go there. And so here's the strategy. But this might mess it up for you as well. But, like,
The strategy.
the strat is the game
strategy,
plan,
bro.
Yo, listen, this
Never
is how you
achieve
ascend.
enlightenment, man. That's
no.
This
But
is like
listen.
so anti-enlightenment. like you actually. solve
Nah,
it.
I know it's
Sam
strategy.
Harris
Like,
right
what the
now.
fuck? Yo, real. But that's why Michael Singer said don't use words like enlightenment. That's true. They like ascension, you could say, or like the contentment is like. I found it like this. Like, first you have to be, like, just heavy in meditation already, and then you have to forget where you are. I try to do that constantly. I try to just imagine that my surroundings are something else. I usually close my eyes during meditation. I just imagine that I'm somewhere else entirely, and then I imagine that I'm, like, nowhere. I'm, like, in an empty void. And usually that starts with imagining, like, the Tao thing, which I've told you guys about before. But because that surroundings are basically just empty. And eventually you need to forget that you are in your room or wherever you are. That's really hard. And you need to, like, not on purpose, because then you forgot it. And then you need to feel that that wherever you are part of the surrounding. That's so hard. Like, you are the surroundings. You are the area, I feel like. And then there's a step beyond. I got that far all the time. But, like, the step beyond that I could never do was, like, turning inward to myself, asking myself, like, I, who is the observer of the universe, I am also the universe. I, like, not just the universe, I am the consciousness that is experiencing it. And, like basically looking at myself as consciousness and looking at myself and being like, dude, I sound retarded right now.
Yeah, it's almost like it's almost
no,
like
but I'm
your-
taking you
It's
seriously.
almost like
man.
your
Like-
body
like-
has to, like. It's almost like if your body, like, kind of inverse flipped out into the and became the earth, like, kind of wraps itself around.
Exactly. Yes. It's more. It's like
It's
just the earth is I, because I created it in a sense. Like,
Yeah.
you did as well. You did as well.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
all created
You mean your mind?
the
Is that what
material
you're- is that what-
plane. No, I mean you, like, the consciousness. At some point, we're part of the greater, like, sea of consciousness that is, like, love
Oh,
and
okay.
existence. And
You're
then
talking, like,
some
yeah,
math-wise.
for you,
Yeah.
it's like it's
You
a
became-
state of unity.
Yes, for me, I think so. Absolutely, I think that we are all part of a greater. And this is just my personal belief, but, like, that we are all part of, like, call it God, call it whatever you want. Like, I'll say God because it's easy. Like, we're all part of God and, like, a greater, like, sort of vast sea of consciousness. We're, like, small, concentrated, like, tiny droplets of an ocean that is that, right?
Oh my
Oh my
goodness!
Thank you so much.
This
Thank you
is
so much.
perfect.
Oh, you got the triple lemons and the lime.
I'm out of 5 trail.
Okay.
And I also figured out everything else because I was
No
so
worries.
concentrated.
That is completely worth it.
Thank
Yeah.
you
So
so
worth
much.
it.
Look at this, man.
I
Zoom it on
created
this camera.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, premium. And if there's no whiskey, I mean, wait. So what is this? Sorry.
there's Glenfiddich and Glenfitch. Like, there's these other ones.
Is
here.
this
one.
the
That's old
whiskey?
fashioned.
Oh, sorry.
Old fashioned.
Old fashioned, perfect. Thank you. Then do you want an old fashioned as well in that case?
I'll get a whiskey. I don't know.
Because the whiskey they had was that
This
one.
looks
It
so
says they
good.
have- Oh, there's other ones. Oh, I see.
That one, so just these ones here.
Oh, okay. I'll have this and just the IPA for now, and that'll be fine.
Can I get a Glenfiddich?
Yeah, a double or just a single?
A single, yeah.
Or on the rocks?
On the rocks.
Thank you so much.
much.
This looks gorgeous, man.
So funny, man.
I don't care
Yo.
how feminine this looks, bro. This actually looks hard as hell, man. This looks so cold.
Bro, if
Like-
I was here, he'd be
Yeah.
roasting you.
No,
so
No,
hard
actually,
right
if you
now.
took out the lemons, it would actually look so cold. Like, you'd be like, yo, that's a hard
Ooh.
drink, John. Like, that's actually cold. Like, damn. That's what you'd say
I think
verbatim.
Coca-Cola would disagree.
Yo,
Okay, well, the
I'm-
lemons are
I think I'm gonna be getting old fashions from now on. That is actually a fire fucking drink.
Really,
I'm
I
not
didn't
gonna
like
lie.
it when I ordered it from the
Really?
Shore Club.
Too strong for you?
It wasn't too strong. I just like felt like
I'm playing.
it just didn't feel like drink. It didn't feel powerful.
Yeah, if honestly
You know
it
what I
feels like some
mean?
shit I'd have in Cuba. I would say that it feels very like
it feels
a little
like
bit too
relaxed.
beachy. Yeah, relaxed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like
I
I
wanna
wanted
be
to
like a
punch me in the face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Like
That's
I
what
wanted to
whiskey
be like,
does,
that's
man.
what man.
I'm gonna get a
drinks
whiskey
are.
after. Yeah, real.
Yo, when we had the cognac in Montreal,
That was
bro.
with the cigars though, so it was literally.
Yeah,
like,
that feels so nice.
It
Have
feels
you guys done a
so
podcast yet while hitting cigars or not
Yes.
yet? You
Yes,
have?
well,
Oh.
it was.
It's
Yeah,
just not
kind
real
of.
uploaded.
shit,
It
man.
just
That's
never
the
got
real
uploaded.
Yeah.
Damn.
We can show you. We'll show you the videos.
Yo, we're not even gonna upload that part. Like, if anything,
Yes,
we
we
have clips,
are.
bro.
I don't understand why.
No, we'll upload it separately to the clip channel, but not in
Yo.
that video because it makes it obnoxiously long.
Yo, but
Anyways, I need to focus on it this week. But yeah,
It was this.
okay, let's see. Damn, is that Neil? Yo,
dude, we had the biggest cigars as well.
You guys were in the craziest setup ever, bro. That's
It was
why.
that's why we went to Montreal.
Damn.
Chez Alexandre. The waitresses, bro.
I should have made
The
it,
waitresses
bro.
were trying to scam us, man.
Damn.
Oh yeah, you almost came to that.
I know.
forgot.
I almost did.
Yes,
bro.
you did. Oh
I
my god,
know.
bro. You would have, bro. It would have been so sick.
Dusan.
I would have loved that.
I saw
I would've
I
loved
saw
that.
the most beautiful woman ever. The
Really?
waitress, bro. There. Oh my god. The one downstairs.
The thing is, bro,
The
this
ones
guy.
upstairs were
Yo,
annoying. They
you
were
don't
trying to
understand.
scam
Like,
us.
you would actually feel the same way I do, bro. I had like the like she was the nicest one, but she was like the least bad shorty there. Like she was
No,
pretty.
she was
She was pretty. She was cute.
Bro, she was
but
the
there was some
cutest.
bad gal there, and this guy
Yo.
was focused on like you know, like there was like 9 out of 10s there. He was looking at the 6. And I was like, bro, come on.
Yo, Andrew disguised priorities. He's looking at them wives, bro.
Yo,
He
stop
knows
it.
any girls looking that bad.
True.
She's like
Stop it.
she's
Yo,
for the streets. Like
bro,
she's not for
some-
wife.
Me,
Yo,
I was just
sometimes
focused
the
on the
girl
fact that
just
they were trying
smells
to
your
scam me, bro. No, these girls
But
were
she
like,
was not trying to scam us. The
yes,
ones-
she was.
Bro, what do you
Not
mean?
her, not her. She was nice.
Exactly.
She was
That's the
I
point,
mean, like
bro.
the
She just
creme
brought you
brulee
your
was kind of
burger,
the
bro.
scam.
Oh shit! How much was that creme brulee?
It was like $1 billion.
Perfect. Thank
you
you
so
very much.
On the rock. I like that.
On the rock.
On the
Thing
rock.
is, in All In, they were just talking about this.
Wait, what, really? I haven't watched it. I've been off my phone.
Cube of ice.
I've been staying away from all this. This looks so good.
Man, this
Yo,
lager
obviously,
looks
yo,
fresh.
Jason was like going.
Yo,
in
cheers,
about-
boys.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, cheers, John.
That's
Yeah.
actually so good. Damn.
Dude, Ottawa beer is like weirdly good.
Yeah.
Like I did not know this until like
Yo,
like this week.
some of the
I believe I just
beer.
fucking
Ottawa
spilled that
breweries
shit.
actually are like.
I actually
Like,
spilled that
good.
shit.
It's
on
actually
my-
weirdly
so
good.
weird,
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm such an idiot.
No, I've noticed that as well.
Fuck is wrong with me, bro? I just spilled all this shit on my pants.
John has not been operating.
No one should
since-
ever forgive you for that.
since
You
like
should
that
kill
fight
yourself.
at-
You should end your life.
This tastes fucking good though.
Well, since that fight? Oh, since he got the
Yeah.
concussion? Since Mike decked him? Oh,
Bro,
nah.
I
It was a close call. I didn't see it. I'm gonna be honest. I hope it was a close call. That's okay though. That's okay.
Bro, yeah,
on
my
YouTube
head
now.
is hurts.
Go watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
go
was
watch,
there.
go watch.
You literally can see it live for yourself.
That's
Play the
true.
clip. Just
That's-
kidding. Hadi's not here. Hadi should be here to do that.
Yo, nah, you'll edit it in. But yo,
Bro, she gave me a straw too. That's so fam.
yo, you better eat the fruits, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah, I
bro.
will, bro. Oh shit, yeah, I got it. Oh, it's an orange.
No, I know. I told her to get as many fruits as possible on that bitch, bro.
She's actually yo, I love Lexi, bro. She's actually my wife.
Oh, she didn't. That is not her name. But that's okay.
That is her name.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
That's what she introduced herself as when I went to the bar and asked
That's
her.
the easy
when she
version,
came
bro.
here and
She was
actually went
Her
in.
name was
She's like-
Alexania.
Alexandria. I don't fucking know. There
Oh
wasn't
my
it.
gosh.
All I know is that it starts with an A.
Yeah.
so.
We're gonna have to cut her
So,
out, her
hey.
name out anyway.
That's true. That's very true. Yo,
Anyways, you were saying
yeah.
about experiencing oneself and their connection with the universe.
the fucking segue is crazy, bro. But not like after you've kind of reminded yourself that you are your surroundings, because I firmly believe that like, okay, like this is the example, and I didn't read it, like I didn't believe it the first time I read it, or even like the 10th time, but like over time I just kind of realized that it's the truth. I don't know, that at least to me, you know what I mean? The truth is very like subjective. But Andrew, you're so retarded.
Dude, I can't use my fingers, bro. My head is, dude. Like you guys don't understand when you have a concussion. You don't know how retarded you are. Like,
Yo, see, it's funny because I felt bad that like,
Bro,
This-
I've
this
had
whiskey
4
was, like,
concussions.
tough
bro. Like,
on
I do
me,
know what you mean, but
but
that's just
like,
funny as fuck.
and now I'm watching
regardless.
you with like the girly drink, and it's like,
dude, I'm trying to squeeze it. Why is it cut like this? I can't fucking squeeze
So
it.
funny, man.
bro,
This
just
is not even squeezable, bro. What am I supposed to do?
all right.
Look at all the fucking shit I spilled, bro. What the
So
fuck is wrong with
Listen,
me?
bro.
So fucking-
I know you're putting all your attention to that, but
Oh
I'm
my
a.
God.
Okay, fuck it. I'm
Let's
not squeezing it,
circle
bro.
back to
Yeah.
Duchan's
Thank you.
expansion
Yo.
into the universe.
Yeah. Well, I firmly believe that like
God, I need
Andrew,
that.
you at some point were part of the great consciousness. You were part of God, and then for whatever reason, this is unknown to us, there was you became born. Like, you decided to become, or God decided for you, whatever, to become a small concentrated like droplet to experience yourself. Because when you are God, when you are in that state, you experience everything, and you don't go through time. Time has happened. Time is just left and right. Do you know what I mean? You're in that dimension, like when being of that dimension. No. Do you remember we watched that video of like dimensions and like how going up to the 10th dimension?
Yeah, it's explaining string theory.
Yes.
To us.
Remember
That's
that? Yeah,
funny.
exactly. So when like a being in the third dimension experiences the 2 dimension, the second dimension as going like this, right?
Yes.
And we experience the third dimension as like whatever, the fucking
yeah.
third line, obviously. So when you're in the 4th dimension, you experience the 3rd dimension as being your left and right. And when you're in the 5th dimension, you experience the 4th dimension, which is time, as being left and right. So I'm saying a 5th dimensional being would experience time as a thing that they can look at that's from the start to end, that just exists on its own like that.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe it has different versions of it, you know, if you believe in the multiverse, whatever.
Yeah.
But like,
I know what you mean, especially from like a time and space. It's
like so like we can look at space as it is in this moment, but they could look at time and space as almost like a completed thing from birth to end of the universe, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. When you view everything like that, you are experiencing. Like, it's just something I've been thinking about so much lately. Like, if you viewed everything like that, you could only experience love from like a subjective standpoint, or sorry, an objective standpoint. Like, from a standpoint of this happened here, and then these people showed up and they loved each other, and they didn't love each other, and those terrible things happened and good things happened, and then it ended. And maybe there's other people after that, and whatever, aliens, whatever, you know what I mean? But like the existence of love in the universe, experienced as consciousness, yes, exactly, could only be seen as an objective thing of like, this happened here. It cannot be experienced in the moment unless you were to lower yourself. This is what I realized this morning. I need to tell the story in order, man. Fuck. Basically, okay, this morning, I sat down to meditate, as always. Like, first thing I do when I wake up, I was up at 5 and I just sat down and meditate right away. And Ryan has this thing where he like sets an alarm because he doesn't want to waste a second. He's like, nah, we have to be on our shit the whole day. He sets an alarm, specifically 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, for us to meditate. And when it rings, like, you're done. I do not agree with that, because how could you go anywhere? How could you do anything if you know it's about to end? That's a reminder of the physical world. How could you possibly leave the physical world? So the material, you know what I mean? So anyways, I don't do that. So sometimes I spend an hour by accident, and sometimes I spend fucking 10 minutes. Usually it's like more like 10, 15 minutes, and I go on and do my thing. But this morning was like a longer thing. It was like at least like half an hour. And I didn't even notice it because I wasn't thinking about it, because I've been doing it every morning so much that it became a routine, so much so that I wasn't thinking of trying to go somewhere. I was just doing it to do it. And then it happened. I became my room and the air and the trees and the ground and everything. And I noticed that I always have been that. I just forgot it. Like, there's the separation between my hand and the air around it is purely it's just atoms floating in space. That's not my hand. It's just a hand that I have control over. But it's not, there's no me stopping being here. Just because I can feel here and I can't feel in the air doesn't mean that I stop there. That's such a stupid like assumption that our brains make, because it makes everything easier. And like, but then anyways, then I went to the next like step, I guess you could say, without even thinking about it. And I just started like, I could feel myself like rising up like within myself and just forgetting the concept of my reality. And every time I've gotten that far, I've like pulled back down. It's just a scary feeling, and you just pull back down and you're fucked. Like, it's over. You lost it.
Yeah, we all know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of like psych yourself out.
Exactly. Yes. And somehow this morning I just like trusted it, and I just like went with it, and I wasn't scared, and I didn't psych myself out, and I just went with it, and I just kept going higher. And I was this thing that I imagined, and only ever once was I able to properly not even imagine it, but like be it. And that's the difference that I realized this morning. So maybe I'm going to be able to achieve it again. I don't know. I haven't tried, but basically I realized this. I was trying so hard to imagine this one step of it, and it's the final step, which I didn't get to earlier. And it's that you like understand that you are like understand yourself as an infinite thing, a thing that has no boundaries. You looking at yourself in the mirror, understand that your consciousness is somewhere in here, but that's it. It's just that size. It's just there. You have to understand that your existence, your ability to observe, as having no physical limitation. And when you try to think of anything having no physical limitation, that means it's bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then somehow when you're thinking of that in your brain, at some point you stop thinking about that and you leave it somewhere. You have to never leave it somewhere. You have to never say, okay, it's expansive, I'm thinking of some white space that's enormous and it keeps going, but I stop it there. There's a wall somewhere. No, there's no wall. You have to keep it going and keep it going. And every time expansive. You think you hit that, it continually expansive to the point that it's like, and faster and faster and faster, until the point that there's
Godspeed.
Exactly. Until the point that it just is everything. And so because if it can expand into everywhere and expands at light speed or faster, whatever, then you can assume to expand it into everything. Therefore, if you know that your consciousness is just not just some tiny thing here, because why would it be that size? And you understand that it's behind you, then it is a truth that you eventually come to realize, like just logically following that same sequence, that it is infinitely expansive. And then you are that, so you are infinitely expansive. And what is consciousness? I think it's just love. I think concentrated. And I mean, that's like corny as shit, but like, I think so. And so it's just love experiencing love. You know what I mean? And then experiencing itself. And when you are in that state, you can't experience it properly because you look at it objectively. But it's such a beautiful, different way, like, to look at things. And I think when I came back down eventually, like, I realized that it was different than last time. It wasn't like I forgot myself entirely in a sense, and it wasn't like the smile and all that. It was different entirely. It was more like I knew that I was in the material plane, which last time I totally forgot, but not in a bad way, like I was grounded, like I wasn't there. I was there, but I understood that, like, the material plane was just something that I made to be, like, it's like if you loaded up a world of Minecraft, but you don't load it up so that world looks like that. You don't care if it loaded up and it was all different colors and all different shit. You went in there to play Minecraft. I went in here to experience. I could have loaded up into the most random thing. Consciousness created, not just me, but like every consciousness who ever did this. I mean, the whole thing is one thing. So consciousness created a world that makes sense where you can experience these things, where there would be hard things and good things, so that the good things have value, and so that the hard things like push you to go towards the good things. And then so you can ultimately find peace. And like, we like, dude, yo, I just realized, like, if I was, I mean, it was not even like, the reason I couldn't get there all year was because I was like trying so hard to imagine that infinite expansiveness. But that means I'm thinking about something. You can't be doing that. You have to, it's like knowing yourself to be infinitely expansive. And that's so hard. It's like ego deathing to the max over and over and over again. And every time you think you're done, you push it even farther. And just knowing it about yourself. It's like being that. Like, you have to be expansive. You can't even think about trying to be expansive, because that's the entirely wrong thing. And so, and I was going off a memory, which I was thinking about, and there was no way to get there. But this time I just did it by accident. And it was so, like, insane, because when I came back down, I realized many things. First of all, I stood up, I looked around, and I started, like, laughing to myself. All of this is so ridiculous. Like, all my possessions, all these things are so arbitrarily, randomly chosen to look this way, to be this way, to have these purposes in this random, arbitrarily chosen society. Like, I mean, with all these rules and stuff, all of it is so arbitrary because, like, if any things have gone differently over time, if things have gone differently over time, you know, those rules would be different, and yet I would still understand them as normal. And that was my point. All these things that I take to be as normal and real things were fucking totally random. And I stood up and I saw my reflection in my, like, glass, like, in my window. Now later I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, this is a thing that I understand to be normal, like, looking at myself to look how I do, because I've seen it my whole life. And because I've forgotten the state that I used to live in eternity. I mean, beyond eternity, because you're not even understanding the passage of time. Time has already happened. So it's like a level higher than eternity. This is a state that, as like some ancient being that was part of the greater thing at some point, that's maybe gone down and done this 100 times, or maybe this is the first time, whatever. Some being that's part of that. Like, this is just, I forgot that I was that. So to me, this is the normal thing. I was looking at myself in the mirror in disbelief. And this happened last time too. When I saw myself in the mirror, I was looking at myself like, what is that? Like, I mean, it's fine. It's, you know, it's beautiful. I still, like, I'm not, like, hating on how I look or anything, or how any of us look, but it was like, it's so ridiculous. I'm some alien machine thing that can run perfectly, that ingests fuel into itself, takes it. Like, I was looking at myself so objectively. I was like, because it was as though I'm seeing it for the first time, because I just left and forgot about my entire existence and came back. And it's like relearning about these things. You know, half a second you remember, but like in that half second you're looking at yourself like, what the fuck? Like, why is it like this? Why isn't it in another way? And I'm just thinking, like, it's so trippy, because imagine you came back down and everything, instead of being like this, was like blue and purple and like green, and, you know, our skin, and like we looked all alien like. And like when you looked at the sky, instead of it being the sky that we're used to seeing at sunrise, which it was, right, sunrise, instead of it being like some beautiful pink shit, it was some random like crazy shit with like nebulas and galaxies. But if you lived that all your life, you'd be like, oh man, I wish my sky was some cool crazy alien shit that just looked pink like our fucking sunset, right? Or sunrise, because to you that'd be some crazy astral shit that'd be like unheard of, like seeing Pluto on the fucking like horizon, right? But to us, we got used to that. But to me, I woke up and I hit it with that. Like, that's the way I was seeing it, bro. I was seeing myself and everyone and all my possessions as crazy galactic fucking alien shit. But it didn't matter, you know what I mean? And every view outside, it didn't matter, because regardless, it was beautiful, and all of it was there to serve the purpose of observing myself, observing reality. And that, I had this crazy realization, which is what I was about to get to earlier, and then I'm finally getting to it. like when I decided to tell the story in order, is that like, bro, I was in that position to view time as a thing from the start to finish, as a thing that exists, that you can, go left and right and whatever, right? Then I could never experience things in there, like music. If time is just left and right to you, you need to be in time, and time left and right, it's like billions of years, right? You need to be so tinily moving so slowly in time comparatively to the whole thing that you can even experience a song. You can experience a movie. You can experience, a relationship going well and going badly and going terrible. It's like, I realized, like, in order to go that slowly, compared to the speed of, like, if you look at the whole universe start to finish, like, compared to speeds of, like, experiencing that and understanding that is just another thing, then you have to reduce yourself so slowly and so smallly to experience one tiny area in there, like, of consciousness, like, surrounding you, to know everything in there, and for that to be a lot to you, for that to be the whole universe to you. And you'd have to be going so slowly that, the passage of time could actually allow you to experience love, to experience these things. So it just made me realize, like, we literally, like, I once as God, or we all, collectively decided, or whatever, or maybe I asked God or whatever, to be put back down, to experience heartbreak and love and suffering and terrible things, because it's a fun ride. And that means inherently, when going through those things, it wouldn't be an experience if you didn't forget the original self. Otherwise, why are you doing it? Otherwise, it's like if you die and you're going to heaven. That takes all the fun. It's like, well, I'll just kill myself. Or everyone's just like, oh, well, I don't care. Whatever I do, I fuck up. Like, what? That takes away everything. Knowing what happens when we die would ruin the meaning of life. Like, right? So you have to forget it, or else it wouldn't be the full experience. So then we forget it by, like, age 3, 4, maybe 2, whatever. Like, that shit's gone from our minds. Like, I think genuinely we have some memory of that. Maybe that's why babies are fucking upset all the time. I don't know. That's some crazy theorization. Maybe you forget that the second you're born, whatever. But the point is that I think and this was another realization I had, and I was texting John this morning at 5 a.m., like paragraphs and paragraphs, like wholesome ass shit.
You did this last time as well.
Bro,
both times. You sent me
bro,
both paragraphs, and I was like, holy shit,
crazy.
I really need to sit down and read this.
Yo, it's crazy because I was actually gonna. Wait, let me say this realization first. I'll touch on that in a second. But I realized that, like, if I was that being, I would want my child, my one tiny droplet in the ocean, to be able to return to me for a moment if they were ever scared. I was thinking about the same thing as, like, because, okay, this is another entire thing, but I'll get to in a second. I was thinking of, like, from my parents' perspective, when you're like 4 and you have a nightmare, like, they're like, oh, come to our room and sleep with us, and it's just one night, you're not gonna sleep every night. You're 4, you have your own fucking room now, right? But, like, they want you to know that if you're off on your own, but if you do get scared, you can come back for a moment and feel what it's like to be with us, and everything will be okay. And any parently figure in any capacity relating to a childly figure in consciousness wants to do that. If your dog was feeling upset, if you had your own child, even you looking at yourself, now that I'm, the adult, like, we literally, this is something I've been thinking about a lot in this last year, but, like, we are our own parents, we are our own relationship, we are our own brother and sister, we are our own wife, like, all that shit, bro. In some capacity, we do that for ourselves, because, like, and I think that's why some people can go their whole life at peace without ever having any of those things, because I think ultimately, like, when you, like, now growing up, you in the city, like, you have to treat yourself, okay, I'm off on my own, like, it's like that 4-year-old, like, I have my own room, I'm really strong, even though I think there's monsters in the bed, whatever the fuck, you're off in real life, and you got to deal with the real life things. But sometimes, every once in a while, you be your own dad, and instead of being stern with yourself, hey, do the hard thing, you be your own dad, and you say, hey, it's okay, come do the easy thing, you know what I mean? And you let yourself do the thing that you always like doing as a little kid, or you let yourself, take a break, even when maybe, you shouldn't have, but, things are getting really to your head, you're getting really stressed, right? We parent ourselves in that way. We give ourselves a little break sometimes, even though generally we're pushing ourselves to be in that new environment. Consciousness does that for itself. We do that for ourselves. In the same way that when you need advice and sometimes there's no one else to go to, I mean, not everyone can do this, obviously, but you therapize yourself like any friend would, like a brother would, whatever. And you tell yourself, hey, it's gonna be like, I know these things, I know what that person would say to me anyway, whatever. And you do that for yourself. Or, like, and then in the reverse, you hit yourself with your from your childlike perspective to a parent. You treat yourself, like, instead of parenting yourself, you child yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you literally hit yourself with, like, I'm done, following the rules that were set up before me. I'm going to create new ones. I want to do all these, like, adventurous, like, things, whatever. And you set up, like, entire new, you know what I mean? Like, so in that same essence, if I was letting a piece of myself go, like my 4-year-old child, I want them to be able to come back to me. And what better way than through just, like, coming back. Like, it's just meditation, bro. That's what it is, bro. We're just coming back for a second, reminding ourselves that, hey, the reason we're here is to love. The reason we're here is to find peace and enjoyment. Don't get so caught up stressing, because that's not why you came. You didn't come down here to worry. You came down here to experience worry and to let it go and experience happiness, experience all the things, including worry, but you didn't come down here to stress the whole time. You came here to love and to feel everything that comes with that and to experience music, because out there, you know what music is and you can maybe experience it in a different way that I can never understand, but you can't sit there and listen through the whole song. The song has happened out there, right? It's in a tiny, tiny speck, a grain of sand in the vast, like 14 billion years. The fucking 2-minute song is nothing. Even if you listened to it 200 times in those 2 billion years, it's still nothing. But like, if you sit here and you listen to that song, because you've slowed down time so much for yourself to be able to sit here and experience consciousness in 80 years, you can listen to a song as many times as you want in that time. It's so perfectly slowed down, but it also, you can experience like all the emotion out of that. You can make your own. It's just like, it's crazy. I was sitting there this morning. I was standing in my kitchen like making breakfast, and I was like, oh, I know this will wear off in a bit. And usually, like last time it did so fast, maybe 10 minutes. I was tripping the fuck out. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm back and none of this is familiar. Like, I'm remembering everything about my life, and then, and it's like, and then, you know, it comes back to me like, wow. And then I remember what that was to help me, why I needed to go, right? But this time I was like, oh, I'm sure it's gonna go back fast. Literally like an hour, I was in this insane like state. Like I've never ever been so like it, and it got me thinking. Over time in my life, surely if I keep practicing and not trying, because I think that was my issue, but I just keep practicing, eventually I will achieve that state more and more often, and I will be closer to, you know, back there. But that brings a whole point, and that for a long time I didn't understand your guys' whole thing of like of being so for a long time I didn't understand your guys' thing of like you're either a monk or you're like a capitalist trillionaire, right? And it's true, but I didn't understand it, because I was like, nah, you should be able to be a capitalist trillionaire and then also like be a monk, you know what I mean? Be spiritual as shit, right?
So funny.
Yes, bro.
I know, but you get what I'm saying. Because it's a good
Yeah, we're just wise, bro.
but I get it now, because your guys' thing actually makes a fuck ton of sense, because I was sitting there this morning and I was like, the reason I came here isn't just to hide in mom's bed. You know what I mean? It isn't to curl up every night and be, oh, everything's okay, you can come sleep with us again if you're having nightmares. The reason I came here is to experience, to be the tech trillionaire. And when I'm done,
Damn right,
I'll be
man.
back in mom's, like, I will be mom, bro. I will be back in God's, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
For eternity again, before I do it again inevitably, and pick a different fucking point in the timeline to do it in. Because the time is just a left and right to me. But, like, there's no reason to spend your entire life meditating now, because you're just going to spend eternity meditating again, but even more so. And you could, like, no matter how hard you try to meditate now, unless you're absolutely goated with it, you spend your entire life meditating, you're not going to be as ascended as you would be if you just weren't like living. You know what I mean? If you were just dead and your consciousness returned, it's like, why would you even do that? But because people believe in different things, of course. But my point is that it's just like, it made me realize, like, damn, like John and Andrew were right about that. Like they're actually so right. I never thought that I would agree on that point. I always thought that was like one that was like, nah, man, they're just not gonna understand. But it was me who would understand, bro. That's, you're right.
Wow.
Why? And it's true though. You can't be the tech trillionaire if you're like on the same like rat race, like literally rats. Like, sorry, I've talked about the rat cycle before, right? Yeah. Like you're literally on the rat cycle. Like, should I re-say for?
No,
viewers?
they should understand. They should understand.
What do you mean by rat cycle?
Okay, never mind. The rat cycle is no, it's true though. It's true. The rat cycle is so this is banging. If you guys aren't trying to go for it. So the rat cycle is basically, okay, when a rat wants to.
I'll take a bigger sip because I don't actually need to talk right now.
Go
that
for
was
it.
like so quick.
Yeah, real. So when a rat needs to fuck, it fucks. When a rat is hungry, it eats. Even if there's no food, it finds a way. It'll eat its motherfucking brother. When a rat has to piss, it pisses. I don't care where it is.
Like impulsive.
Impulsive immediately. And every animal is kind of the same. But like a rat's a good example because it's a gross one, right? And we obviously are not rats. The difference between a man and a monkey, or a man and a rat, is that we have the choice to say, okay, I have to piss, but I'm not going to piss right now. It's not right. I could piss right now.
Between the
It would be
carnal
nice, you know?
instincts.
I'm sure it'd make me
and
feel good. But I'm
conscious
sitting
experience.
at a bar with John and Andrew. I'm not going to piss my pants right now because I'm not
You
a
can't.
rat. Of course, you can't.
You
don't,
can't.
don't test me. Like, yo, but like,
No, but it's like it's the distinction between something that's carnal, instinctual, and something rather than has a more refined version of consciousness.
And that's a very fancy way to say it, and like a good way to say it. I just say the rat cycle because I
Yeah.
think it's simpler. You're stuck, you know. And if people live today,
I'm a
and they're
trade
stuck
podcast
in the
host.
rat.
if you would have said what John said, I would have instantly understood what you were talking about. But anyways.
Real. I thought I'd gone over it with you before. That's why, but
You have.
Okay.
I just forgot the label.
Yeah, my fault. Yeah, but so like, yeah, some people are living the fucking rat cycle, and you can't do that. And the only way to really not live the rat cycle is to understand discipline. You can do that, like, without being a motherfucking monk. You know what I mean? Or like, I like using that example, like being a half monk or whatever. Like, you can not piss on the like bar without not. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a Buddhist to like not piss on the bar. It's pretty easy to discipline yourself to do that. But like, if you want to achieve great heights, like tech trillionaire type shit, you know what I mean? Then you have to. What's up, Andrew?
Well, it's not hard until you try to find like very like truthful reasoning for it, and then you're like, wait a minute.
Yes.
Why shouldn't I? Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna stop me?
Yes.
From pissing on the bar.
It opens up a Pandora's box of
Yeah,
existential
that's
questions
why
about
you-
consciousness.
That's why you typically don't go
And
there.
pissing.
Yeah,
It's
like
yes.
the and you know it's like that, you know, this is actually like, again, like, you know, Andrew and I always discuss like the words of wisdom that you bestowed onto us.
Girl? Oh, my fault.
And that's what but that's why like we, and I remember even us talking about this, like I think we even mentioned like we might be like trickling off the path a little bit, and for me, I was more so scared that perhaps I'm getting the wrong conclusions. But what I think has been a theme consistently in what you were talking about, which is disassociating from subjective experiences, and in that moment, so to speak, disassociating from subjective experience to be part of a more realized unity of experiences, convergences. Well, but in terms of what like the what we were what the reasoning behind that idea of either you become a monk or a tech trillionaire is exactly as you said it, like searching for those experiences. And it was more so that the idea of rather holding desires is like, which has already been something discovered by, you know, a bunch of these other theists across time, especially in Buddhism, where you have to truly reach a point of, I guess, enlightenment, which you now renounce the idea of the word, but like, yeah, the connotation still stands. Like, you want to revoke any sort of material attachment to the world. And if you assume that idea that you have a subjective experience, and it is, well, by absurdity, necessary for you to experience regardless of what realization you have, then you have to attach yourself back into reality,
Absolutely.
into the material, in order to achieve those things.
Exactly, you do. You can't live up there for like you
Of
can't.
course.
There's
And
no
I mean,
reason
like, but
to.
you
Why would you
can.
have come? You
If
can.
you
and people
decide to do that, and
Yes.
that's why you're either a monk or a tech trillionaire.
Exactly, yeah.
Because either you experience and you become and you live in the reality as hard as you can,
Yeah.
or you detach wholly. And that's what the idea of the extremes we were talking about.
Absolutely, and they're good. They're good examples. They're good extremes. I think obviously, realistically, everyone lives in a more like gray area between those, but
But not us.
Not
actually.
No, we do, but then when we think about it, we're like, wait a minute,
yeah.
why did I go on that date? Like,
Yeah.
But I wouldn't
That's
say...
true.
why did I go to that lunch?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why did I
Yeah.
go to that party? Why did I just sleep in even if I worked the whole weekend? I thought it was really reasonable for me too. Like,
Yeah.
why did I
Yeah.
just watch that YouTube video? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can't
Yes.
really.
It's like you can't justify
Unless-
being in
unless-
the gray area.
yeah, you
Absolutely
can't
not. Not if you're
justify it.
truly
Yes.
truthful with yourself.
Yes.
You can't justify
Right.
taking any breaks if you're really truthful with yourself. But it's like it's hard.
Because
to be that
nonetheless,
truthful
like, you have to be, like...
on top. Yo, you have to. And
you have to be a part of your own experience, you know.
Yeah.
If you're like in that sense, like, that's why, you know, in our recent culture we have a lot of issues with escapism,
yeah.
substance abuse, because they're like in what
That's the rat cycle to
Yeah.
another level.
in terms of what
man.
we're talking about, like yeah, as well, like that's like carnal, that's like carnal
Exactly, because-
inclinations.
Exactly.
But I would also
because
say-
suffering. The existence is suffering, and who would want to suffer? A rat certainly
Yeah.
wouldn't. If you give the rat the option to smoke weed all day and get head all day and watch Netflix,
And they do.
It
They
would.
do.
The rat would do it. They do, in fact.
They do. They
Yes.
study it. They give them cocaine and they go
Yeah.
crazy. They're like, wow, this is
in
great.
some sense, like.
And why would they think
this is
otherwise,
why it's
you know?
tough though, because, you know, you come as you start to think about it. That's why you also can flail into degeneracy, because the same way that you're like, well, why don't I just piss on this table in front of everybody? It's like, you start to question even what would traditionally be like the most obvious responsibilities. But then when you have access to shit, that's when it's over. It's why, but historically, like only like rich kids would be able to become degenerates. But in the modern
That would
world,
be fine.
with
But
modern
now,
science,
anyone.
synthetic drugs,
That's true.
porn, it's like Tinder,
Widespread.
whatever.
Everybody.
Yeah. That's true.
Right?
In fact, we could right now.
So it's like,
Like
It's
I could
true.
like this drink way too much and order another one, and then I come back and I'm like, I really like this drink.
yeah,
Give me
like,
another one.
yeah, online payments, all this is the access is for everybody. So that's why you don't have the issues. Like even think about it like from a like acceptance of like promiscuity. Like now, like
Yeah.
like
Which is
like
even it's
like
crazy.
100 years ago, because you mentioned like getting head all day. It's like today it's like this is the first time that guys actually have to ask themselves, and it's like, is it a good idea? Because you can actually do it. Like, bro, like,
Which is crazy.
Like,
Like,
100
actually-
years
That's
ago,
true,
like,
that's
100
true.
years ago-
100 years ago, I'd be like,
100
bro,
years ago,
like,
if
jump
you-
at any
if you
chance,
If you
bro.
told a guy like, yo, would you get head all day? Like they'd be like, yeah,
What?
in my
Like,
dreams.
you mean
but
my wife?
Of course, like,
You mean, like, that's my
Of
wife?
course, but no, but that's
Like-
the point. Is
like-
like they wouldn't have access.
Like they meet a woman, they're like, I'm marrying her.
That's it. Yeah, when you're like 12, bro. That's it.
Yeah, they're like, whoa, like,
She better.
oh my
stay
god, there's a
batty,
female.
'cause-
Shit. Let's do it.
well,
I do it.
well,
Yeah, Andrew and I was saying. Never mind.
shut up.
That's crazy.
They would have to commit in order to actually get it. So it's like the responsibility would always come with getting the what kind of like you would innately want. So it's like impulsive behavior. You couldn't do it unless you were mad rich or unless you
Yeah,
took
yeah,
on
yeah,
responsibility
of
and
course.
like and value for the world. Whereas now it's no longer the case. So we sit here and have these like conversations, which would literally seem so stupid to people like just like 50 years
Yeah.
ago or 100 years ago. It's like, why are these guys
I
talking
know, like,
about
even,
like
and
like-
the thing is, bro, like, even anyone, like,
like yo,
especially.
if you showed Tinder to somebody from like 200 years ago, they'd be like, bro, you guys are
Yeah,
you
they'd
guys
be
are
like,
thinking
what?
like, oh, this is a waste of time.
Like, this is a
Like, what do you
non-issue.
mean?
This
They'd
is
be
a
like,
non-issue.
yo, I would be on this shit 24/7.
I spend my whole life
I would
doing
spend
this.
my whole life on this. Like fuck my wife.
Like,
No,
what the
ass though? Like, yo, it's but either way, people live in the rat cycle, and I think in order to be the tech trillionaire, you have to free yourself of that. And in some ways, then you have to become the monk in a little bit. It's it's somewhere between. I think you have to be a bit
That's
of a
what I
monk
was
to
gonna say.
truly be a
Similarities.
tech
I was gonna say,
Similarity.
Yeah.
like, I think I mentioned this when we. Oh, yo, you weren't there. I remember it was like a few days ago. I was just chilling. I was gonna hang out with Michelle and Graham.
Dude, it was crazy.
We were
it was
gonna go to
actually
the
crazy.
apothecary, and I was just steady listening to music, bro. I was like jamming, and then I hear like John. I'm like, bro, who's cheering me on right now? I got like cheerleaders, and yo, like literally for 15 minutes, I was talking with a Save the Children guy, and I, for some reason,
Yo, let me tell this
I-
story,
I
bro.
d-
You're fucking shit. How are you telling a person?
this is my side. This is my side.
Is the
Okay, this is what I was
apothecary
doing.
that, like, white
I was
building?
just
Surette.
chilling. I
By
was
the
like,
way, is the apothecary that white building?
yeah. It's
Okay.
it's a corner with a rooftop
Yeah,
patio
yeah,
in the
yeah,
byway.
yeah, yeah.
I was literally just chilling. I was like, okay, I want to do something today. Like, I'm relaxing. I'm concussed. I shouldn't be looking at any screens. So I was just listening to music, walking, doing absolutely nothing downtown. I went and I was like,
Good excuse. Good excuse.
like, yo, I genuinely wasn't doing shit, bro. I was just walking around. I was just, and then I went.
You're gonna die at age 100. But go on.
A billion. No, you don't have those thoughts every second. I get so scared every time. But I go, I bought like this durian smoothie. Tasted like shit. Was not worth it. And like, I went and I was just wasting time. I ran into like this Save the Children guy, and he was telling me why I should save the children, and I donated $50.
Yeah, you know what? If I would like when I'm like on that kind of vibe, which happens a lot, like I would be so happy to like run into like some Save the Children guy.
Yeah, I was
Just
really
find
great.
Somebody to chat to.
I was just chatting to him. I was like, "Yo, what's good, man? How you doing, bro?" He's just telling me about like humanitarian crises, and I was like, "You know what? I'll save the children, man." And I was
He
doing that for like
invested.
20 minutes, and then I
Yeah.
walked to the apothecary, and then all I heard was,
You walked
"What? It was not far. It was Byward."
from here.
No. I was downtown. I was downtown.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't doing that much nothing. Okay,
Damn.
I wasn't doing
That's like
that
me
much.
level depression, bro.
Dude,
I gotta
I wasn't
leave,
that
bro.
bored. Okay,
Yeah,
like I did have shit to do that day, so.
Me, bro, when I get in demon time, like I'm walking around the whole city.
Wow, this guy's going on like a
That's crazy, that's
fucking Moses journey, bro. Really rekindling his connection.
Parting seas, like
Yeah.
3 p.m. like-
Reality is just the Britannia Beach.
Yeah.
The only thing you're parting is like one sand pail. Anyways, I walked up. I called Graham. Graham was like, make a reservation for the rooftop patio at the apothecary,
Right,
and like I
Bruh.
just
Graham.
I just hear like some cheerleaders. I'm like, I hear John.
Didn't do Shenron tell this part?
Yeah, that's where I was gonna transition into. You so rudely
Dude, you and I
interrupted
both think
my
the same.
beautiful transition for him. I was just literally about to say, and then I see
Yo.
and I look up.
And it's me and Ryan, bro. Yo, so basically me and Ryan, we're already downtown. We were at Ottawa U studying, and we're
Right.
looking for a place to eat. And we like went into this random ass like place, and we almost got food there. But then I
Not
was like,
the
nah, I'm not
apothecary.
trying to eat this. Not the apothecary. And then we like left because like I'm not trying to eat
been
this.
there, bro. I just like go down and I'm like, wait a minute, nah, I'm not trying. Wait, my wrong shit.
No. The apothecary is fire. I didn't know it was called that. I thought it was called something else, brother.
Sterling.
Sterling,
Bar,
yeah,
something
Sterling,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There's like 4 restaurants on
Yeah.
those buildings. I don't know.
I don't fucking know which one's which.
I
Yeah,
don't
there we go. Yo, yeah, but yo, it
I
was
don't need
crazy.
that. I look over all of you.
Yo, so me and Ryan like almost went to some other restaurant first of all.
You'll be
Then
receiving
we
my
walked
bid
around
tonight.
My
aimlessly.
rooftop is higher than yours.
Yo,
Just like my dick.
Yo, we walked around aimlessly, bro, trying to find a
Yeah.
restaurant, and like so. Not
I appreciate you affirming that. Sorry. Sorry, keep going, man.
and then me and then so Ryan kept suggesting places, and I was like, nah, I don't want to eat there. He was like, bro, you're like a bitch. Like you're like a bitch on a date, bro. I'm just you choose. I'll eat wherever you say. I was like, alright, damn.
Sounds like
So we
Ryan
walk
just
around.
said
It
that.
was, bro. He's
He
like,
said it
you're like some
perfectly
hoe on a
so.
date, bro. Yo, he
Dude,
literally
you're
said
just
that.
like some hoe.
Like, dude, yeah, like you're like a hoe.
Bro, I swear, I literally dealt with this shit like the other day.
Yeah, like I took her on a date again, and she
You're
goes,
literally just like this girl I did it this one time, where she could not choose anything. It's like some shit like that. But nah, yo. Anyways, so then I'm like,
Names girl
damn,
who
like
went to
okay.
SRP.
Nah.
went or worked?
But so,
That's crazy.
I ain't capping. So anyway, so
Nah, bro, she'd be down for whatever.
it's true. So I went, I went to,
What the fuck, man? What the fuck?
yo, I went. I'm like looking around
Bro, I hope
Byward,
she's not
whatever.
watching.
We wandered all the way to Byward. We weren't even close to Byward.
Okay.
And this is like fucking 20 minutes of just walking, doing jack all, like
Yeah.
fuck all. And then I see this place. I'm like, okay, fuck it, let's go in here. Because Ryan was like, do you want to go in here? And I didn't want to say no, like for the 10th time. So like, okay, sure. And we walk in, and this fucking waiter guy was like, we almost sat downstairs. So we almost still wouldn't have seen them. Yo, we almost.
I'm so sorry.
No,
Andrew
no,
and I
you're good.
actually.
You're good, you're good. we almost still wouldn't have seen John because we almost sat like downstairs in that place instead of the rooftop. And this waiter was like, do you guys want to sit downstairs or do you want to sit on the rooftop? We were like, bro, on the rooftop. But he didn't say that. We would have sat downstairs. We went upstairs. We sat on the rooftop. There's like a empty ass like table right next to this like window. And we were like, or like right next to like a view. So we're like,
That's
oh fuck, let's
crazy.
sit right there. We sat there. I'm chilling there. We're like about to order our shit. And then I look just over my shoulder, casually just looking out of the view, and I looked down like, damn, that dude looks like a hell like John. You know what I mean? I'm like, wait, that is John. We were like, John. He's like looking around left and
crazy.
right, like, oh, he's like, what? Who is it? He's like, John. And you look up, he's like, yeah.
so happy, bro. I was like, no fucking way.
And he told us from the street, bro. Graham and Michelle had plans to like be there, and they were already like, the
Right,
table
right.
reserved or some shit.
Okay.
They were literally coming right down. We were like, what the
Yes.
fuck? What the fuck is the timing, bro? We almost weren't there at all.
Beautiful, bro. Yeah, they
It was
literally,
crazy.
you were deciding, bro. If
dude,
you weren't a woman, bro, as
yo.
Ryan said, if you weren't doing that, bro, we wouldn't have seen each other.
Deadass, bro. And if I had alarms on my meditation, I wouldn't have ascended today.
Yes.
And if I just all this time, it's been great. Don't get me wrong. It's been fun working on the not-for-profit like all day and just working on all kinds of shit with Ryan and living with him. But I think overall, man, like I need to just live on my own clock. I need to live on my own shit. 'Cause I have a way of doing things, and sometimes that way is slower, but sometimes that way has go to results for myself. And like for instance, that like if we were going by his plan, that never would have happened, and I would have never known that. I would have thought, oh, it was a great efficient day. But the thing is, that meal, bro, I mean, it was first of all, it was just a fun ass time with like Graham and Michelle, but also at the end of it all, like first of all, oh, I'm not wearing it right now, but this like old Asian
Oh
lady
yes,
made this
that was so
made
sick.
this
Yeah,
goated
yeah.
bracelet
Shout out to
too.
Jade,
Yo,
man.
real
I knew her,
Jade,
bro. I knew
Yeah,
her.
shout out Jade.
She said, "I love you to me." Every time I walk by, bro.
I know she actually loved John. She was like blowing him kisses and stuff, but she's so real. But yo, that actually she got
Yo,
John
shout out
acting up.
to Cacao 70, bro.
Yo,
The
Coco
lovely
70,
ladies
bro.
there, Jade and
Yo,
Mia, man.
It's so real, man. Yo, John is so good. But anyways, after all that shit, John and I, like, we almost went back again. Almost, like, had fucking Grand Michelle drive some shit, but, like, I didn't know where Michelle lived. There's a whole thing. And then John was like, whatever, let's just get on the train or the bus, right? And we had the craziest talk, like, actually life-changing talk. And none of that would have happened if it weren't for this random-ass thing. And
Yes,
like,
bro.
you're telling me that Michael Singer shit isn't real, bro, the surrender? That is so real, bro. because
No, bro, I
if we
know
had-
it's real,
like,
man.
That was crazy. The universe ordained for us to chill, bro. Like, both of us had the most random circumstances and ran into each other in the busy-ass fucking city, like, just randomly, and we're able to have that conversation right when I fucking needed it, bro. John and I talked about some real shit. He was like, you can't settle. You can't ever settle, man. Did he tell you about this?
What do you mean?
I can't ever
I think I
settle.
called him and he was like in bed, and I was like, dude, I just had a crazy talk with Dusan.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it wasn't bad. I was sleeping.
Yo,
I was
so
about to fall asleep.
you know, he was on the grind, no sleep. But
Oh no. I was like literally about to fall asleep.
Fuck. Yo, so me and John were like, we were talking about John was telling me to never settle, and he was like, don't settle for being a
Like,
producer.
Oh.
Don't settle for I know. I thought it was just producer. You know what I mean? And maybe the first thought to mind comes like women and stuff like that.
But I was
thought
just straight up
but
like,
nah,
I was just looking
he was
at you,
talking
man.
about everything, bro.
And I knew
he was
but
talking about
I was just watching
companies
you.
like Phantom.
I was being
the
observant.
not-for-profit.
But what I mean to
realized-
say is like I just knew something was up, bro. I knew you
Bro.
weren't happy. Like I knew my boy was not feeling great, and I was
Bro.
like, bro, I can't allow this. Like I know he's eating.
I knew
himself
I
up.
wasn't feeling great either, but I didn't know what it was, man. Like I couldn't have even put that together myself, man. You put that together like on my behalf, which is crazy. But it was like,
Bro, I
he's
just
right.
want you
I've
to
been
be happy,
spending
bro.
too much of my time.
I just
bro.
want you to be happy, bro.
Thank you so much, man. You don't even know how much that helped me, bro. That conversation was crazy, man. Like that.
So what happened?
So John just pointed out to me essentially that I've been spending a lot of time on everything else and like not any time on like the plan A, bro. Everything on my plan B's, all of it, my companies, my and like the nonprofit and and on MP&E and songwriting, all this stuff. And don't get me wrong, those are all things like songwriting and MP&E especially, like those things will help me with plan A. But like they're also really, if I just lean on them, they can just be really easy ways to do plan B for the rest of my life. But that's not why we're here,
that's
bro.
Cold, man. That's
I
cold.
know, bro. And I never sat there and made a conscious decision to say, you know what, I'm just going to be a producer the rest of my life. I didn't say there, you know what, and give up on the dream. Like, I didn't do that ever. But over time, because all these other things depend on other people, all the plan Bs, other people are depending on me, right? Plan A, I'm depending on me. No one else is. So that means all those other things, when I don't want to let people down, which is like I feel like that's the thing I struggle with so much. I really, really hate letting people down, especially people I care about. So I'll like drop my own things to help them with that. And that means like so many times for all my plan Bs, for the company, for nonprofit, like, for my family, like going to Serbia, like that was like, obviously it was a nice experience. And, I had to surrender that. I'm sure like there were great things in there, like with a trip, like the monastery and stuff. There's so many nice things, but like, what I wanted to spend my time doing was go for like a week or two and not do all that and like just see my family. So it's just like I give up too much of my time to the plan Bs, and I think not on purpose, which is even worse. I was doing it passively, like some fucking that's so much worse. At least if I was doing it consciously, it would be commendable, but I was doing it passively, like some fucking retard, like 14-year-old doesn't even notice they're addicted to TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like
I know
literally
exactly what
living
you
through
mean,
their,
man.
just passively living through their life, not chasing anything. Not
so
even
lack of
Yes.
such a huge lack
like
of
all of
clarity.
us at some point back
Yeah.
in our
Yeah,
back
it's
in the
like you're
day.
gonna look back and be like, where did the time
Where
go?
did that time exactly?
Yes.
And I'm looking back now, that's ridiculous because I try so hard to be on top of my life, and I am letting myself passively not work on plan A. Like I literally barely worked on any production or songwriting in the summer, bro. In the whole last summer, I did my studio internship. I did every fucking other thing for production. I even got an opportunity to be ghostwriting, co-writing for this one singer guy, and I'm working on that now, who
You
like
even
works
did
for this label.
Veronica.
Yeah, Veronica. Yo, I know, but that's everything is like. Even there, like I didn't make enough fucking marketing for myself as an artist all summer. Like I didn't do that. I didn't do any of my social media. Like social media.
It was
shit,
half baked.
Exactly. It was super half baked. It was okay at first, and I got like I half-assed it, and it wasn't banging enough. Like I could have done so much more, and especially the follow through, especially after the drop, I didn't do shit. And like so much of that, I kept putting other things in front. There's also a big part of it, I won't lie, is I had a lot of time for production things at the start of the summer, and I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I would make a song. My fault. I would make a song and I would hate it, and I would whatever, and I'd make another song and I'd be working on it for a week, and I'd be like, no, this is ass. I don't like the sound, because I was trying to figure out my sound. But while I was in Greece, actually, I will say this is one good thing that came from Greece. Like the being disconnected from it for so long made me like get this like deep like need to like be producing and writing. And I was like, I can't be away from a guitar this long. You know what I mean? So I started writing shit with like no guitars in my head, like in car rides and stuff. I would literally pretend to be asleep and be writing some shit in my head, just like no one would talk to me. And then because it's a long car ride anyway. And then and I would just like write it down on my phone later on the notes app and stuff. I do that from time to time. I'd be writing shit in my head. Like I'd be writing them in class, bro. Because if I get a good idea, I don't want to stop working on it, even like, unless it's like a test or some shit. But the point is Actually, one time in a math test in grade 12, I wrote a song during the test, and I was like, damn, or like just like a chorus, and then all the lyrics and the thing, and I was like, fuck. And I finished the test quickly, and I like low-key didn't even do that bad on it, but like it was like it was the first half.
That's
I know.
actually
That's
the artist in you, bro. That's the
I know.
artist
I
in
ran to
you.
the bathroom and recorded because I was trying to finish as quick as possible.
Wow.
While looping the melody so that I wouldn't forget the melody. I ran to the bathroom and recorded on my phone.
That's crazy.
I know, bro. That's
actually
Mr.
a crazy
Quick
moment.
I know, bro.
That's
It's
how
crazy,
you know
bro.
you're an artist.
I know. I
bro.
was like, damn.
That's
The
how you know it's
actions
what
you
you
were
want,
taking
though.
before life got real.
I know, man. Yo, real, bro. That's crazy. And now I don't be taking those actually. And so anyway, I did get to a lot of writing. I hadn't got to any of the production yet. I've just now barely started. Now that after my talk with John, like that kind of kick things into gear. Like damn. But also, I was so excited coming back from Greece. So excited to get to work on songwriting and producing on this album. Cause I realized that I don't write about any of these things I actually fucking care about. I think I told you guys about this. Yeah. So I'm not gonna. Well, I mean, I told you about it, but like when I first came back. But this is like these things I actually fucking worry about that I really want to write about, like my brother. And everything that he's going through. I want to write about that so badly. I want to write about how like all my relationships, I feel like I'm always the one that's more into them than they're into me. I feel like I've never been like loved back in the way that I've loved somebody else in a relationship.
I love you.
Love you too, bro. Man, nah, it means
I know what you mean,
it
though.
means a lot. But yeah, like I'm always the bitch in the relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I tried to change that in my last relationship. I really did. And like for a while I wasn't, but inevitably I returned to myself. And I think the issue is that I've been trying to be something I'm not. And actually Mason and I had to go to talk about this, and he pointed out to me like, of course that's gonna happen if you try to be something that you are not in a relationship. You're gonna attract the type of person who likes the thing you're trying to be. If you do a good job, if you do a bad job, you're not gonna attract anybody. If you do a good job of trying to be the thing you're not, you'll attract someone who likes that, and then over time it'll crumble because you can't keep that up forever. And I'll become the thing that I actually am, and they won't like that. And all my life I've been attracting people that I think would be into this type of person that I try to portray myself as when I'm first talking to a girl. Instead of just being myself, and then if I attract someone, I never have to change a thing. I just be myself forever. And that was the simplest thing. When he said that, I thought of you. I was like, that's like, John is so sure of himself. I was like, and I realized that like I need to do that for myself. And I was thinking like, and it's like the same thing you were talking about, like asking yourself like, how do I justify this YouTube video? How do I justify this other thing? I started asking that myself for everything on how do I justify my behavior to others in portraying myself. I was like, why did I say that? Why did I like lie about that tiny thing? Why did I, whatever, like who am I trying to paint right now? Why am I just not telling it how it is? Why do I not just tell it straight? I started thinking about all these things. I was like, damn, like I just be not being myself fully for no reason, because I don't think that that's a good thing, but like it is a good thing to just, you know, be how I am. And then I just like started writing down all these things I actually care about, I actually worry about. And so, I always write songs to try to sound like the type of artist I think people would fuck with. But that's exactly, you sound mainstream as fuck. Like that's not what you do it. But I didn't even think about it. It wasn't like sitting there like, oh yeah, this is the best strategy. It's just it was just what I'd always been doing. I never thought about it. But now I rethought everything. I was like, dude, I'm so stupid for like doing it like that. I started thinking, what do I actually care about that's unique to me, that just not even because it's unique to me, but it's something I actually want to fucking write about. No wonder I was having trouble writing. No wonder I was having trouble creating a sound. I was trying to create a sound that sounded like other artists that I thought were like niche and unique and cool, and trying to blend their two sounds together or whatever. But that has nothing to do with me. It's like, what am I actually, what do I feel like if I produce that will actually embody the emotion that I'm feeling right now? And I went at it from that angle, and I went at it from the angle of like writing songs of things that I'm actually worried about. Like for instance, for that song, the idea of that I'm always loved the girl more than she loves me. I wrote this song called TV, and it's from the perspective of a TV watching this guy and this girl have their kind of relationship.
It's fucking sick.
Dude, I know, it's goated.
So
And they come in, and you know, they don't watch at the start basically, so they come in, they have their, and you can't even tell it's from the perspective of the TV at first. It just sounds like third person, because you know I had to set up so you realize that later in the song, of course. But so they come in from their date, and they're laughing about the waiter, whatever, and then they lay on the couch, both red faced, like they're nervous to talk to each other, and then they are like argue about which way to change the channel, whatever, and then finally they like they lay down to like watch TV. But no, ain't nobody watching TV when you first like with your girl. That's just not what happens. So I said from the perspective of TV, but they don't watch TV, like they don't care about me. And so now I'm inserting the TV's opinion of it, which I think is just funny and like a little cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yo, that's
but they're not paying attention. They're fucking, bro. They're not watching TV, and that's the whole point, right? But so
that's so relatable, bro. That's like,
they're not watching TV, like
but then listen,
yo, that's actually Central C type shit, bro. That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But yo,
Yeah.
then you
She picking the channel, they ain't watching TV. Like, yeah, why are we arguing about what shows to watch? You know we ain't gonna watch that shit.
yo, but then the rest of the song, like the second verse,
Combination. Sorry.
Oh gosh.
the second verse goes like then their relationship's starting to fall apart. He's into her, but she's not into him. It's the same thing that's always fucking happened every single time I've dated anyone ever in my entire life, because I've been just doing it entirely wrong. Because I've just not been myself and being there was a time I was happy with just being alone, being myself, and I was able to do that for a long time. And I wouldn't say that I'm not in that now. I don't think about it that hard, but because I'm focused on other things. But it's not about even being happy with myself. I feel like everyone was like, no, you need to be able to be happy with yourself. But it's like being happy with myself, like being happy with not just being happy. I thought the stress was be happy with yourself, but it's like you need to be yourself entirely, bro. And that's the thing I wasn't anyways. The song, then later you see the relationship starts falling apart, and then the second chorus they do watch TV, and it's I thought I'd like this, but it's kind of crazy. It's kind of sad to see, but they watch TV, they're actually watching.
Oh my gosh, that's so
all the eyes are on me. I know, bro. Yo, it's actually sick because they're watching now. They don't fuck anymore. They're not doing nothing anymore.
Yeah.
They're not talking. And earlier I said argue about which channel to change. And then here I just say argue about which channel to change, and it's just becoming real as fuck. You know, it's the little changes. I know, and then
I can imagine this video. It's just a little Monday scene.
Bro, I was thinking I would wear a TV on my head or some shit. Okay, that'd be so fire.
That would be crazy promotion, bro.
I know, it'd be fire.
Bro, I'm just imagining this playing where the same playlists that have passion fruit type songs. Bro.
Yo, it's some shit like that. And so, I wrote it in Greece, the first kind of portion of it, I finished it while I was here, but I actually a lot of it on the plane, but just where I had that idea, because I was originally going to write it from my perspective as always, and I was like, okay, I'll write it from a different perspective, and the first thing you think of is from the girls. I was like, bro, I've done that a million times. I was like, nah, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this right, I'm going to do some shit that stands out, that's actually a way that I would do it. It's not even just about a topic that only I care about, that's specific to me, but I would do it in a way that I would be myself to that extent. I was like, how would I do it? I know I would turn this shit on its head for no reason. I was reading this book at the time where every chapter, it was for one of my classes for, this is surrender shit. Everything lines up for something like that to happen. But for one of my Berkeley online classes I'm taking right now, it's creative writing, and I had to read this book. We're just it was all about perspective that week or whatever, and we had to fucking read this book for it. But it was unread essays about it, but each chapter was from a different person's perspective, and it wasn't there was no main character. The whole story was just told it was an 80-year span of everyone's lifetime, and you just randomly, you don't even know what time you are, what year you're in, whose perspective you are. You figure it out as you go along. And I thought that was so sick. It makes the book not just continuing the story. You're continuing the story. You're filling in gaps. It jumps back 50 years, goes forward 20. You know what I mean? And you're filling it from different people's perspective. You're oh, that's why he did that, right? You know what I mean? And you get how different people feel about the same thing. That's so sick.
Those are so sick.
I know, bro. I know. And I was like
Euphoria is probably the most popular one.
Oh
recently.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, you're talking about anthologies?
Yeah.
Those are so cool. Those are really nice.
But that's what I'm saying. So, dude, it was so fire. So and I was like, dude, you know what I should do? I should write about a perspective that's just unexpected like that. You know what I mean? You don't even know what perspective you are. I was like, yo, what? I was thinking what in the the apartment perspective. It's so hard to write.
That's
I was like, wait, the TV. Yeah. You know what I mean? I started thinking because I was it was such a sick idea. I was like, damn. I was like, I knew it, bro. I knew I needed something, and it was that, bro. There's always a little detail you need to have, and anyway, whatever. But I'm just so excited for that because I started thinking of the production, and I wasn't blocked my brain. You know what I mean? I wasn't oh, I'll just make it sound like this, or I was I have no idea what to make it sound. It's always one or the other. I'm I don't know what to do because I want to make it fancy and unique, or oh, I'll make it sound like this person, or a combination of these 2-3 people. That's not anything. But this, I already knew exactly what I wanted, bro. It's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be really low key and acoustic, how I actually just sing to myself for the first little bit while I'm leading up to it, simple, just me strumming the guitar and singing it. And when we hit that chorus, but they don't watch TV. It's crazy. They don't care about me. The TV part, once it hits that, you'd be a crazy drop, not percussion or anything, but granular synths. You can kind of feel the and then the radio TV static. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yo,
fire! And I could have little channel switch noises in.
I'd love to see your process, man.
Bro, it'd be so
That's
sick,
gonna be so
man.
sick.
I know. I'm gonna try to get literally just record me and the homies talking or some shit, just to make it sound like there's a channel going on or something, and put a little a low pass on it. Yeah, so that the high frequencies are out, so it sounds like it's on the radio. Or something.
I don't even know what that is. You don't have to. The specifics don't matter to me.
Make it sound like this TV playing, basically, and just get all the TV sounds, and then slowly make it sound fucked up, right? Because as the song progresses, at first it's all pretty. It's they're not watching. It's all nice, and the TV's upset about it because he's they're not watching me. But then later he's damn, I thought I'd like this, but actually it's kind of sad to see, but they watch TV. And then at the end, he's like, damn, like. And so the bridge is funny as fuck too. The bridge is like it's like after the second chorus, after they kind of the relationship is falling apart. All she does, I say like all she does. Wait, I'm gonna read this to you. It's just actually funny.
Oh my god, you have it, bro. I love that. I love that.
I'll read you the lyrics right now.
Is it on the notes, bro? Is it on notes?
Of course.
Of course. Where else would it be,
Of
man?
course, I got like all the fucking 700 songs in these notes, bro. Yo, all right. No, that's not true. I don't have them all, but I have them a lot. TV finished one. I have one with a happy ending too, but I'm not doing that one. It's mid. But okay.
Oh my gosh.
And then I have this bridge is fire, bro. Now she's okay. Should I sing it or just like read it?
Nah, sing it. Of course. But
She
what? We gotta get the
stares
clips.
at me all day, takes sick days off work, but all she wants to watch. Wait, what? All she wants to watch is the fucking Notebook. She keeps crying and crying, finally calls him over. Says, I'm sorry, I miss you. Can we please make this work? And then they get back together, but it's not fixed. After it's the same thing. They still argue. They
'Cause
still
they're
still
not
watch TV. It's not. You can't fix that.
You can't
It's
fix that.
done.
Because it
over.
wasn't.
And that's
it was
painful
over.
death.
It was over to begin
I
with.
know,
man.
bro. And I hate songs where they get back and everything's fine. And I hate songs where it's just done in one go. It never is done in one go. You always go back and you think, yeah, you know what? We're gonna fix it, and it just sucks. And it's broken.
And when
bro.
the song, it's like you think the song's over,
Yeah.
and then it's like it's another verse to, because
Yeah.
the relationship always continues.
Yeah.
The journey always continues.
I
in
know,
some
bro.
Shape or form.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your process, man. Like,
Yo, I would love to like.
that's art, though. Like, genuinely, man.
How much time we got? I could cook
it's-
something right now. Shit.
Yeah,
No, but it's
let's
super
go back
interesting.
to,
Like in terms
Yeah.
of like creativity, and I think this plays very well to everything we talk about,
Mhm.
and that's where when we were talking at the apothecary at the rooftop patio, where I said, I think I remember like Ryan was debating this with me, and I said like I think of it like I try to do it in scale, like on the micro scale, like I'm a Zen Buddhist, of course.
Mm.
In the macro, I have to be the trillionaire
Tech
capitalist.
trillionaire capitalist, of course.
Because you have to leave
I
room
get
for
you, and I think
you have to
I've
leave
been-
room for serendipity. You have to leave room
You
for
do.
spontaneous
You
things
do.
to happen.
You do. You can't.
But you have
micromanage
to
the
guide
point.
the river
Yeah,
at the end of the
absolutely.
day.
I
Because
so
like
I
I
so
could have
agree.
I could spontaneously go on a walk, and I could like become like I don't know, a tree person. I could be very spontaneous of me, you know what I mean? Or I could spontaneously walk in to the bar and be like, yo, can I record my podcast here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Things you gotta guide the river a little bit.
Shout out Royal Oak.
I don't think they want us to shout out, but it's okay.
It's true. No, take it back. I take it back.
But
Yeah.
but what I'm trying to say is that like in terms of what we were talking about earlier, where I find so much value disassociating is that taking a moment to put yourself out of your current subjective experience gives you so much more context to what you should be focusing on experiencing, or rather how you should be guiding the river.
Yeah.
Because, and I would say that's the bulk of anyone's question, really, in terms of meaning. We wonder, what should we be doing? Like, what's our purpose? What are we trying to build to the future? And like, people tend to, for one, go to experiences like that, similar to that I would say I know this to be true, that you have to disassociate yourself in order to really find those answers. I've never seen a case where that's not the case, or where it's not true that
Yeah.
they've had to remove themselves to really find out what it is
I think
existentially.
so. I agree as well. I think you have to in some way. But people don't even know they're doing it, but like,
Mhm.
I think so. Yeah.
And in terms of the creative process, I think it is so intrinsic to that because, and of course, as you're saying, like playing into the rat cycle, playing into the carnal instincts, playing into whatever seems logically strategic and optimized for that case is not inherently ideal, because you're not giving way, for one, for the overall perspective.
For
You
the
don't know the
surrender, like you're not giving way for anything to happen that if it's
Exactly.
meant to happen. You're controlling it too much.
Yes,
I think
you
so
don't
as
know
well.
you don't know the context, and you try to, but
Yeah.
you're limited.
I
And
also, sorry, no, keep going. I'll say.
yeah, like creativity is, like, it just comes out of it's so interesting because, and it's something that I try to pay attention to the most, and it's something that I've been really obsessed with recently. People who are genuinely pure in their creativity and pure in their vision, and it's something I've been obsessing over nonstop, trying to pick up on all the traits. And and I think that's, for on a side note, like, that's why I noticed that's why I noticed you were probably unhappy, because I had that intense sense of magnetism when back in high school, before and during we had those conversations, the inception point of Andrew and I, when you said those things, like I felt the magnetism coming from you, like I felt pure energy coming from you in terms of creative prowess and context, and I stopped feeling that. I was scared. I was like, whoa, like what? Like I looked up to Dusan so much, and I still do. Like, there's no way this was a lie, and I don't think it was a lie. So that's why I was like, dude, like, what are you doing, man? Like, are you settling? Like, what are you sacrificing? And
it's true, man. I don't even like I knew something was wrong, but I didn't even know what it was. I feel like since like, I think like, fuck, man. It's like I feel like I was like very much myself, or my old self, you could say. And then things with like,
you fell back to old habits?
No, things with my ex ended. And like, that's such a retarded reason to like change yourself, but I just started becoming obsessed with following the things that I'd laid out for myself, but not with the meaning behind them, that energy like behind them. Do you know what I mean? Like I would still do the grind every day, and I would do it to a perfection, but it wouldn't mean anything at the end of the day. I would just be tired, but it's time to hit it again. There was no love behind it.
Was it just because you were...
I was just trying not to think about it. I was trying not to...
You were scared to find the context, or you just...
Maybe. It was a weird time. Like, it was it was before the second application, like to MPNE, like the big one that everyone does.
You got it the first time?
No. The first time I didn't. Well, nobody. I mean, no one. Two people did. I was considered. I was on a list of 20, and they took 2. I was deeply upset about that. That I wasn't one of the 2. But that's okay. But then I got in now, which is like the normal time to get in. That would have been like early getting in, which is actually, it's better I did, because then I there's one class. It makes my life easier actually, so it's kind of better. But it would have been pretty goated. But that's okay. But anyways, so it was like the big application, like, everything, and right before that, everything with us kind of stopped working. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't know why you put in the mic like she could hear us. We'll continue.
Oh, did I? That's so funny. I knew. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I know what you mean though. Like, I feel it in myself. Do you know what I mean?
And you do, of course, you notice. And I felt that as well. Like, I think
that was it. I think I haven't spent all my time on that anymore.
Yeah.
Before that point, before we were over, me and
we'll sense that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I heard it still.
Fuck. Before we were done.
Let's focus in on this for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. Before we were over, I think I devoted huge portions of my time to recording, producing, like mixing my own shit and songwriting my own shit. And I was like doing this thing every 15 minutes a day, every day, songwriting. And it didn't happen overnight. Like, it didn't suddenly stop. But somewhere along the way of like dealing with that and being worried about it constantly and just letting it run my mind, and then it just falling apart entirely by the time the second semester started. And then on top of that, things with some of my friends were weird, and I was worried about that too. Like, one of my friends, his like girl dumped him, and he just wouldn't talk to anybody, and he was just in the gym like 4 or 5 hours a day, and it was like hella. And he,
villain arc, man.
Villain arc for sure, man. But he wouldn't even usually we went together, and he wouldn't even like let me be there a lot of times. He was like, nah, man, I need to be on my own, and it's cool, I get it. But it was like, and because I was so on my grind for some other things, all my friends are hanging out, and it would just be me working on my shit. And in some ways that's like, yeah, let's go, like, I'm on my shit. But in other ways it's like, man, like, they asked me to hang out for like probably the 10th time in a row, and I'm like, sorry guys, and they're like, they get it, but I feel so bad because I'm letting people down. That's why I hate letting people down, bro. I actually hate that so much. I'll do anything to avoid that, which is also ridiculous and stupid, but it's just something I've built up over time.
It's not ridiculous, but like,
it's not,
but it's
the extent that I do it to is ridiculous.
So how do you get back? How
do I get back? I actually devote a substantial amount of my time to songwriting and producing my own shit. And social, like making covers and posting my own songs and covers of things. I am so happy when I do those things. There's literally like, and so at peace, like, especially songwriting. Something about songwriting to me is like like writing songs about what I'm feeling and just releasing, like creating my own shit is like the thing that I've done every time I've been upset about anything since I was 14. So it's like, it's literally the ultimate therapy, bro. It's like I just, whatever it is, I do it and I turn it into something cool as fuck or something really sad or whatever. And then I sing that over and over and it feels better. And it's not even like to escape the feeling. It's just like I actually get it out of me. And like I just wasn't doing that for so long because I didn't know what I wanted, because I was so bogged down by like the rules of outside things. Like you need to drop this before you drop this. Like you need to, you know, do like singles, whatever, and it needs to sound like this. And you need to have your own distinctive sound. It needs to be like this kind of vibe. And like you need to be producing your voice in a type of way. And it's like all these kind of things that everyone's like giving me that are so about the final product, but that I took so seriously. And like, yes, this is great advice, that I forgot to follow my own most basic thing that I know is valuable because no one else follows it. And yet I have better results than any of them in songwriting. Like it's the same reason, like that girl, the president of songwriting club, like she told me I was the best songwriter at the club. And like, that's goated, bro. And like, she got me, bro, it did feel great. And that professor, like she chose me among all her students and stuff. I know I'm good at songwriting. I know I am. And it's because I do it constant. And because I'm always working on it, because I'm always studying other people's shit. I'm always like, you know what I mean? And I stopped doing the one thing I know that sets me apart. I stopped writing songs hella. I stopped producing hella. I focused in on the MP&E application. And then for a moment, I like let myself live the lie that I was okay with a plan B. You know what I mean? I think for a moment I accepted it. I didn't sit there and think it out and be like, yeah, I accept like not pursuing the artistry. I saw the weight of trying to be an artist and the impossibility of it in a light that I've never seen it before, being surrounded by other people who have hundreds of thousands of followers who are way farther ahead than I am, and being surrounded by people who have way less than I am, and seeing even the gap between them and me took forever, like from being where they are to being where I am now. And the gap between where I am now to being where these people are, it's like, fuck, man, it could happen overnight or it could happen in 10 years and you don't know what's like, you know what I mean? And it's scary as shit, like seeing my parents' money go away, seeing all these things. I was like, damn. And I let that beat me, I think, like without thinking about it too hard. But I just kind of, in the back of my mind, like subconsciously, I'd let that beat me, and I chose the plan B. I think, like subconsciously, I started putting all my time on these other things because it was easier to focus on, easier to think about. These things have clear paths, clear steps that I can do to do well in them. And that's so much. That's so dangerous.
But that's how you know it's dangerous.
I know, bro.
If it's fucking easy. If you're just shit, like, oh yeah, like I can just do this.
And the other thing is that other people would be like, wow, man, that's so impressive. You're running this company.
Yeah.
Those things were so easy to me in comparison.
And everyone
and
they congratulate you all the time.
Like, and that does not. That's so dangerous.
It's
bro.
so dangerous. That's the comfort.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, wow, man. Like I'm good at this. I could just do business the rest of my life.
You fall in a cycle because the system.
You know what I mean? And like, I
they
love
reward
business.
it for you.
I will do it. You know what I mean? That's not to say that I should stop these things. It's that I need to return songwriting and production, like for myself, at the top of everything. It needs to be my first thing. Because Lizzie McAlpine, she's this girl who went to Berkeley and dropped out, and now she's really like famous. She didn't spend all her time producing for other people. She probably spent zero of her time doing that. She didn't spend any time on her companies. All she did was work on her own shit while she was at Berkeley, and she was able to drop out in her second year. She's already making a bag. She's going on tour across the states. And she started with nothing like I did. In 2 years, she built that. I can build that too. Maybe it'll take 3. Maybe it'll take 4. Maybe I do it faster than she did. But either way, I know for a fact she was sitting there in the easiest major possible, songwriting major, which is a fat risk. She like burned the boats in a different kind of way than I did. You know what I mean? Like not just with money, but like with the major as well. If you just finish with that, what the fuck are you gonna do? Unless you're literally the best student, you might get a job in publishing. Otherwise, you have fucking nothing. You go be an artist, right? And that's my second major. I'm just doing it for fun. But she was only doing the easiest major in the school, and just grinding all her time on making TikToks and that shit. And one of them popped off, and then another one, and it's like, damn, bro, am I gonna get outperformed by someone who couldn't even do all the other things that I'm doing? Because why the fuck am I doing them, bro?
Yes.
Am I gonna get beaten by someone who did the thing that I find? Obviously, it's difficult. Like, but the thing that like it's difficult to know what the next step is. But it's not. I find it easy. Like in songwriting, in a way, like I find it's like natural to me. You know what I mean? It's not easy. Like it takes.
You're better than these motherfuckers who made it.
I know, bro, and it's so painful because I'm listening to your shit. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, this is ass. You have access to all these co-writers, ghostwriters.
But that should terrify you even more, man.
It should, bro.
What really brings me up to surface is that like the idea of comfort, or sorry, like the idea of failing is one scary thought, but the idea of comfort and not realizing how far I've fallen off is so much more terrifying. It's so much scarier to be like it's so much scarier to me to be in bliss and then suddenly one day I realize, oh, like I did all these things and now I can't do anything else.
I know, bro.
Like
because
imagine
I can do those things when I make my bag off music. You know what I mean?
Course.
I can go fucking
but
start all the companies I
bro,
want
like,
to.
imagine you had like you had like 5 songs. You worked on them really hard.
Yeah.
And then they blew up and you got to 500K views on what would happen on your next one. But you didn't work, so you don't have the 6th song. You only have 5. You knew you stopped yourself right there.
Yeah.
You made your own wall.
That's true.
And that's way more
The
terrifying.
retarded thing is, like, I'd be regularly preaching to people at Berkeley. Ask me, like, man, how do you write songs? Like, I'm stuck on my 3rd one. I'm regularly preaching to them. Write a song every single day. Write 2-3 songs a day. Like, at the start, I literally sometimes wrote 5 songs every day. Like, at the start, before grade 9, between grade 8 and grade 9, I wrote almost 5 songs every day. In my first year, from July 1st, in grade 8, like right after grade 8 to July 1st, after grade 9, I wrote 300 songs exactly. I mean, I probably would have only been like 270, 280, but I like grinded out the last 20 to make sure I got 300.
Yeah.
But like, you know we got to do it. But like, the point is, like, I would write a fuckload and they would all be ass, every single one. But we definitely have to go. But my point is, like, I'd be preaching to people to do something and I'm not even doing it. I'm like preaching my own testimony and I'm sitting there. What's up? I can't. I'd be preaching to people and I'd be sitting there and I'm like, what am I, like, I didn't feel that energy behind my preaching. And I knew that regardless they took it as godly shit. You know what I mean? Like, some of these people, of course, like, they're not godly. Fuck, I sound so retarded. Like, I mean, I knew that they took it as like, oh, this is great advice, and they were like, wow, this comes from someone who knows what they're talking about, and it's good advice. You know, I'm gonna take it and apply it. Yes, but I'm sitting there, exactly, I'm feeling like a fucking imposter. I'm like,
Yeah.
who am I to give this? Like, I'm not even doing this.
But you're just working off of the equity you've built in
the
that.
past,
You wouldn't,
exactly.
like, it
I wouldn't be able to
out.
give
like in
that.
6 months from now, your advice will not be godly.
Exactly.
Because
it's running off of past equity.
that's
That's
the
such a
fear.
good way of
Matter,
putting
yeah.
it, literally.
Yeah, that's that.
So,
Yeah, that's
anyways, I think moving
Shout out
forward,
to Andrew, always keep it.
yo, of course, bro. Yo, moving forward, I know that I have to put making shit for myself first.
Do you? Because other people do them. So
That's true. That's true.
Yo, like,
What you said about
Cause I scream my lungs
the
out
person only doing plan
for
A
you.
is gonna beat me because I'm doing plan A and B and C and D and E and F, like all the other
I
ones.
would be fucking loyal. Veronica.